Good afternoon, everybody. Today I want to share with you how we actually DevOpsified monolithic prepackaged applications and some of the humbling lessons that we learned along the way. Fair warning, this talk does contain dragons, so here we go. My name is Sousa. I'm a technology architect with the Accenture DevOps practice. We're a group of around 300 SMEs that are eager to automate, accelerate, and improve the lives working on our development projects. As a DevOps practice, we do a number of next-gen and cloud-ready application implementations. But today I'm going to talk about a very, very complex project that we had the pleasure to be involved with and that actually presented the brownfield stack. This was actually for a retailer who had loads of big products and many, many environments which didn't look at all similar. So one of their release plans was actually measured in years rather than weeks, so this was a big challenge. Environments, I want to focus on this, were really a big challenge in the sense that they often took 4 weeks or more to set up. And because we wanted to increase the speed to market, we wanted to reduce that uncertainty. So what we really wanted was actually an environment spin up in 4 hours. But to make things more challenging than they already were, we already had tools in place, but these tools, rather than helping, would actually hinder the process of automating all of the tools because they didn't talk to each other, they weren't integrated, and most of them didn't even have a command line interface. Because we didn't have a long time to implement these tools, what we actually relied on was a platform that we open sourced called ADOP, which has all of these tools already set up, and it's powered by Docker. So it allows us to spin up Jenkins, Nexus instance, Sonar instance very quickly. So the actual process, what we went through was that took the applications one by one and ended up breaking them down, going through their manuals, and figuring out what were the dependencies tying them together. And in order to automate that, because we knew we needed servers to host these big monolithic applications, we wanted the capability to spin them up in either Azure or Oracle Public Cloud, we actually went to a technology that was a fairly natural choice, which was Terraform, to make that situation. We also wrote Ansible playbooks to automate the installation and configuration of the application components, but most importantly, to also templatize and accelerate the ad hoc operations. We decided to go with Ansible because it had a lower barrier to entry than Chef. We did this knowingly, but we also did this knowing that we'd have to implement a lot of the features that Chef already has out of the box. So it was actually a design decision. It was a predicted decision. But we actually ended up containerizing all of our tools so that we'd be able to use them in whatever platform we wanted, be it cloud, be it on-premise, and it also had the added benefit of getting us reliability and resiliency straight from the get-go. We learned a lot of things along the way, one of which is not to underestimate the complexity of COTS products, right? They are big, they're complex, and it takes time and effort and skill to get GUI installations to work via the command line interfaces. Do not get stuck on past assumptions. I cannot emphasize this enough. Move on, iterate, architectures evolve, requirements change, and the retailers actually change their business needs with the seasons, literally. Another one of the things is actually do not fall into the trap of over-engineering a solution. Keep it simple, right? Remember your utilities, your reusability, your maintainability, expandability, and remember, a solution actually needs to work before you could actually reuse it somewhere else. And actually, search engines are your best friend. After that are your colleagues. After that are the forums. Then come the actual KXs. And do never underestimate the power of getting up and forcing somebody to take their headsets off, because that's the best solution of all. We had an issue with our expect statements to run the installers, where they were actually faster than the installer could actually reply to them. So we actually ended up having to put them to sleep, literally. It was not pretty, but it actually got the job done, and it allowed us to do a repeated installation. And when you have a script that calls a script, called by a configuration management tool, called by an orchestration tool, somewhere, somewhen, an exit code will be lost and modified. So always check your logs for errors or fatals or anything like that, because it will save you a long time in the long run. So in the end, what we ended up was actually a very fast and consistent and reliable way to spin up infrastructure. We reduced it from a month and a half to a full working day, which is amazing, but we're not done there. And it's been very challenging and fun to work on these kinds of products and these kinds of implementations. We are hiring, so if you want to talk to me, catch me outside. I'm also on Twitter and on email. And I do like XKCD a lot, so props to them. Thank you very much.